happening, guys? It's Nagpal for iGyaan, and today I'm going to be unboxing the new Samsung Galaxy K Zoom. Now this device is Samsung's attempt yet again to enter into the camera phone market space with essentially a camera that is also a phone. The design on this one is much more mature than previous generation of the Galaxy Zoom, and the pricing on this also seems right, with it being available for around 29,000 rupees. Presently only on Amazon.in. With some special offers which you get freebies worth 6,000 rupees. The MRP on the box is 34,990. Let's go ahead and unbox this. So there it is. The first thing inside the box is the Galaxy K Zoom. I'm going to put that to the side and I'm going to go further in. I get a quick start guide, the standard Samsung travel adapter, in-ear style earphones from Samsung. These are pretty decent nowadays. They come with an inline microphone as well as volume controls. You get a USB to USB 2.0 cable. You get additional ear tips for your earphones. So depending on what kind of or what size of ear you have, you can change these out. And last but not the least, actually last but the most important, is the battery pack, which is a 2430 milliamp hour battery pack. So I'm going to put all these things aside and I'm going to take a look at the device itself. Okay, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is the new Samsung Galaxy K Zoom. It is running a hexa-core chipset combination. We have a dual-core 1.7 GHz 815 processor along with a quad-core 1.3 GHz A7 processor, which is a low-power processor. And we do have a 2 GB of RAM and a 16 GB storage along with micro SD card expandability up to 128 GB. Now the display on this is the biggest disappointment according to me. It's a 720p display with a 1280 by 720p resolution, and it is a 4.8 inch display, so not the best quality display, even though it is a Super AMOLED display, so that's good. I'm just going to quickly run you through the device real quick. So over at the front you have a 2 megapixel camera along with the earpiece, 2 touch capacitive buttons along with the home button at the bottom, and you have a micro USB charging, data syncing port along with the main microphone. On the right side you have the camera shutter button along with the power button and the volume rockers. On the top is the 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the left side is a lanyard connection point along with the micro SD card slot for hot swapping the micro SD card. On the back is the pièce de résistance. It's the 20 megapixel sensor with 10x optical zoom. You do have a 1/2.3 inch sensor on this, so it's not the best sensor that you can get, but it is a pretty decent sensor. It does 1080p video at 60 frames per second. And it's quite a pity actually, because Samsung had the capability and they could have added 4K video on this with optical image stabilization, which would have made it really a killer package for a lot of people who like to shoot video. You have a Xenon flash over here. You can see the SIM card slot is also over here. It takes in a mini SIM card, not a regular size SIM card. So just like the Galaxy S5, you get this dotted pattern, which may be appreciated by quite a lot of people, because on this it is a soft touch, gives you a lot of grip to hold the camera as well. I think it's a great feel, this material, and it doesn't look half bad according to me on this, or at least in this color it looks pretty decent. Let me quickly turn this on. I'm just going to quickly run through this setup process. So I'll set all of this later. I'm just going to quickly jump in. You do get 50 GB of Dropbox storage for 2 years, so you can sign in with your existing account and get that. I'm just going to quickly do that. So once you do that, it's going to ask you if you want to automatically upload files to Dropbox. I don't want to do that, so I just cancel that. Give the device a name if you want to do that. I'm just going to run with the default name, and then it loads up into Android right here. You can see magazine UI laid out over here. It's the new Samsung UX. Assumptions aside, I believe this is running Android 4.4.2. That's right. It's running Android 4.4.2 KitKat out of the box. So that's good, and you should see a software update on this as well. You can see a slightly thick bezel around the device. It looks like one of the old school S series phones. Actually looks like the S2 quite a lot because of the rounded bottom bit. So it's a mix of usage capabilities. It's already updating the camera firmware. So it's asking us to wait. It opened the lens for a second and then it closed it. I'm going to go back into Android. Okay, so now my lens is out. It seems that it's worked. So now you can use the volume rocker to zoom in, and the lens also zooms in optically, which is a good thing. Pretty decent camera interface. It's the usual Samsung thing, but it's much more responsive than the previous generation as well. You also have something called Pro Suggest, which will tell you what kind of mode you should be in. You have programmed auto, you have beauty face, a shot end mode, so it lets you repeat several shots. They give you an example. You have a panorama mode, a virtual tour, HDR, etc. You also have a selfie alarm mode, which might come in handy for a lot of folks nowadays. Apart from that, you have your general set of settings over here for the camera application. You can set your movie size. 60 FPS is what it records at, which is pretty decent actually. You also have a win cut for your noise, and you can also turn on remote viewfinder for that. You also have multi-motion, so you can get multi-motion. You can slow down your footage, etc. all in the camera application. We'll look at that in depth when we are done reviewing the device. It also has this camera studio application, which lets you quickly jump into the camera in the Pro Suggest mode directly from the main window over here. The display is pretty vivid for being a 720p display, so no problems with that. The magazine UI over at the left. If I jump into all applications, you'll see a usual set of applications over here. So no extra set of bloatware, but there is a big bunch of things over here. You also have the studio app that allows you to use your images or video to create some fun things. So Photo Studio, College Studio, Shot and More, Video Clip Studio, and a video trimmer as well. So you can do some basic editing on the phone itself. In terms of usability, the device seems fairly responsive. If I jump over to iGyaan, so you'll see that it's fairly smooth, the user interface. Scrolling seems to be pretty smooth as well. I think they've managed to more or less remove lag from the basic browser interface. You can pan around. The lag has been reduced to quite an extent, and you can convert from portrait into landscape. You'll continue to see a slightly smooth motion over here, so that's pretty good. I'm going to try and jump into YouTube and quickly play a video for you guys. So this is a teaser for the upcoming Let's Talk Shop with Samsung.
What's happening, guys? This is Bharat Nagpal, and welcome to our next edition of Let's Talk Shop. And we've been talking to a lot of people, and it's usually easier to speak to the president or the prime minister of India, but speaking to this guy, tell me what's great in this tablet and why are you guys excited about it? Why has Samsung stuck on with X?
So it seems that the display is pretty good. So the speaker is pretty good. What I would have actually liked is, since they already have a glass cover on top of the lens as well, it would have been interesting if they could have used the camera lens to behave as a stand for the phone. That would have been pretty awesome, like if you could just do this. But when the lens is open, you really can't go into your usual set of things. But it would have been really nice. You would have had a inbuilt kickstand thanks to the lens, because they have a glass cover over the lens as well. So there's no problem with the fact that the lens can get damaged. You can usually just set this down as a kickstand. So you have an inbuilt kickstand. I hope somebody comes up with an ingenious app to just open this lens while you're using possibly a movie player or something for this device, because then you have a phone with a soft rubber back with a kickstand inbuilt, thanks to the fact that you have a pretty decent camera lens over here which zooms in, zooms out. So there you go, guys. This was a quick look at the new Samsung Galaxy K Zoom. This device will be reviewed soon enough on iGyaan, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or queries, we'll be doing a special video section for this. Probably go outdoors and do a quick shoot, bearing in mind that it's hot like hell outside right now. But we'll try and do a quick shoot for you guys. So thank you for watching. This has been Bharat Nagpal. I'll see you in the next one.